We're waiting for the stream to show up. Always takes a little while for that to play itself out, and then we know we got a stream coming in. Right now it's buffering on my end. That can't be good. Oh, off to a bit of a rocky start. Let's just wait and see what happens here. Good morning, everybody. In case I am streaming, usually takes us a minute or so to get these streams up and running. Just cruising. Elaine, Shani, Ken. Looks like we're making noises anyway. And so I might go back to live stream to do these streams. YouTube is a nightmare. And so the stream is screwing up on my end. I'm going to kill it, hopefully. We'll open the chat window to see, and that'll stop the feed from coming in. Maybe that'll help with the feed going out. And it's shocking that we got to do stuff like this each stream, but hey, that's the way it goes. Hi, Shani, cruising, Elaine, Candace. Good morning, everybody. Looks like we're streaming, but there's no way to tell on my end outside of the comments section. So it's the morning of May the 9th, 2016. Yeah, we very well might go back to live stream if I can't resolve some of these issues in the next while. But this is just our second stream, so we got to give it a few days of this nightmare, and then we'll be a little bit quicker on the get-go, hopefully. And everybody, so let's go down with the stream then. How about that? We got reactors in Japan that are melted down. This is Unit 1. This is Unit 2. This is Unit 3. And that's Unit 4. And by the way, thanks everybody for your kind words the weekend. They really did mean something. And even though Google erased all those comments, I was screen capturing them. And so I have them. And then other people have posted the video, and those people too, thank you, humbly. So today we got to come to reality. This is Unit 4. Now, a month ago Tepco told us it looked like that. So Tepco is out of control. They're saying inside a disc it looked like that, and inside of that they claim it looks like this. I'm going to play that clip for you. And I got another really important clip coming up right away. So this here cannot exist inside of that. So let's set the stage for that. We got Set Dorn. Now I got the whole video there of Set Dorn. It's a 3-minute video. We're not going to play that today. We are going to play an extraction where he says he's in Unit 4.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
At the end of our tour, we were checked for radiation exposure. In 4 hours, I received the equivalent of less than a chest x-ray.
So think about that when you got less than a chest x-ray. Now here's Miles O'Brien at the same spot. He went into Unit 4. I'm not going to show you the whole video today, but here's what he said.
Before we left, they carefully scanned all of us and checked the dosimeters that we carried along the way. During our 4.5-hour tour, we absorbed as much radiation as we would have in a single chest x-ray.
Oh, what? Wait, what? Two of them had the same, they got a chest x-ray. Do you got any idea how crazy that is? Now, what they're saying is, though, this you're going to love this part coming up. They're claiming that's the picture Tepco's showing. That's the same one they show. And it's inside of this building. It's inside of that building. It's actually inside of that building. Now, here's Tepco. We got a real spin on this for this today. If I can find it. So basically, they all want you to believe it survived. All the reactors survived, like that building there, so to speak, right? Everything else is destroyed, but no, the reactors are fine. They don't look like that, and they don't look like that, right? That's Unit 4. Here we go.
And Fukushima Daiichi stage, right after the accident, it was, of course, the emergency condition. But right now, gradually became the decommissioning stage, more stable decommissioning stage. And that's that, as I mentioned, the successful completion of the dismantle of the spent fuel from the Unit 4.
Now, oh, he's claiming that is inside of this. It's inside of that, right? So how did Seth Dorn and Miles O'Brien, how did they fake
Of the decommissioning.
that? How did they get Tepco or a nuclear power plant that looks just like Unit 4 to allow them to shoot that when that's the official picture also, like that one there, see? Okay, so what's coming up now is a video. It's 4 minutes long, and it's about Hollywood and green screens and how effective they are at the illusion and how old that technology actually is. So here comes the video. Right, so do you get that? How easy it is? Let's replay that one part and we'll play the rest of the picture or the video. I just want to interlude, that's all, for that 1 second so everybody keep on track with Unit 4. Okay, well, obviously, I mean, that's not very high quality. My apologies for that. But what it does show is how easy it is to manipulate your environment. By the way, my cigarettes don't have 7,000 chemicals. That's how much they manipulated your environment. And this is how they manipulated our environment. Isn't it stunning how they can replicate the real environment? I know there's a stutter in that. I don't know what's going on with that. We're just redone our software. And so it's easy to recreate this with a green screen. Over and over and over we see that playing out. The video's almost finished. That is what Seth Dorn, Miles O'Brien and many of them have done. Well, they've done this because imagine trying to organize, bring in a camera crew to a nuclear power plant and people, and get everybody, all the actors there and everything else, right? So it's better to shoot the footage on another scenario for the scenes you want, and then go back to your studio and import Miles O'Brien. So he does stuff like this.
Of the decommissioning work taking place here in Reactor 4.
So he claims he's inside the building, no different than digital deception, right? Green screen. So it's that simple. Now Miles O'Brien. And so what they do is they put out these stories because of how horrendous it is. Like Tepco, I mean, that's a month ago. 1 month ago, Tepco was sitting with the press club telling the press that the interior unit 4 looks like that. Inside of this building, after they tore it all down and cleaned it all up, right? They had to clean it all up to get to that stage with robotics, cranes, and homeless and destitute and victims of society. Okay, so we're going to switch gears. We're going to burn through this for a little bit. And let's start with that. Core explosion. Let's bring that up. So Tepco, let me get back that 1 second. We got to get rid of Tepco. They're faking Unit 4 again and again and again and again, and the press is going out and telling everybody that. They have the 0 ounces of morals. They have 0 ounces of truth to their words. They have 0 ounces of any kind of... they're the most scary thing imaginable because they're faking all of this to distract you from everything else that's going on. And so I'm going to explain that to you in a nutshell. And then we're going to talk about dots coming up, some emails. I'm going to just start sharing some of that stuff with everybody. And so bear with us. What do you do in case of a nuclear accident? You kiss your children goodbye. And a lot of people say, now, come on, Dana, that's a little over the top. Well, not really. If you look at children's risk of cancer from radiation is 10 to 100 times higher than an adult who had the same exposure because they're a smaller volume. Under 3% of the children exposed to Chernobyl radiation in their mom's womb were diagnosed as healthy. 3%, under 3%. Over 3 million children required treatment because of Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a candlestick compared to Fukushima. That's why they're faking those Unit 4 pools, because that was really spectacular what was there. And David Suzuki said if we lost number 4, right? I'll talk about that later, but did I cover that headline? Hang on. Make sure I covered that last headline. Yeah, 3 million children. Disinformation by the nuclear proponents try to confuse the public about external and internal radiation. On purpose, they claim like a banana or a potato chip or walking in the sunshine or getting on an airplane or a dental x-ray or a chest x-ray like Miles O'Brien from PBS and Seth Dorn from PBS and CBS, right? Thyroid abnormalities. Now, thyroid is a gland. It's not an organ. It's a gland. And gland can die. And 55% of the Fukushima girls between ages of 11 to 15 So cancer is the last one to show up. There's all these diseases and illnesses and diabetes and autism and dementia and Alzheimer's and heart, liver, lung, and respiratory problems will show up before the cancers. But this shows how big the dose really was. Fukushima girls have 3 times more thyroid cyst over 15 millimeters, which is a growth, and 79% more medium size than boys. That's stunning. That's why Miles O'Brien is hiding it. That's why Seth Dorn is hiding it. That's why Connecting Dots is attacking me, because they hate children. They hate life itself. Human embryos in the U.S. likely bioaccumulating radioactive iodine. Now think about these headlines. They're from major media. They're aggregated in an energy, but there's usually multiple stories underneath it, right? Data shows a large spike in deaths, particularly infants' deaths, an abnormality compared to any years before, in the 14 weeks following the Fukushima meltdown. This is all mainstream media. Health physicists in the U.S. worried about inhaling hot particles. Most of the people, got this chronic cough, including children. That's plutonium, mercurium, or americium burning a hole in your lung, or their lungs. Now, once it gets through there, the lung might heal a bit and won't be so bad, but for a while it's going to be really bad for a few months. We're finding out that girls are having as much, it just sequesters in the body and it'll turn to a cancer in 10, 20 years at the most. We're finding out that girls are having twice as many thyroid lumps as boys. And so moms have a real legitimate reason to get their families out of there. Legitimate reason. 100%. Because they're faking everything about it. They're showing you a billion that don't exist on TV. So you can't even trust your media. Excuse me. I'm burping. Just 0.8% of children in 2001 in the Japanese control group had thyroid cysts or nodes. 36% now in the Fukushima study. Pre-Fukushima was less than 1%. So the evidence is over. It's just incredible amount of evidence. 35% of young people tested have thyroid cysts or not. Now they say, Dana, they're doing more sophisticated equipment, right? Yeah, and they used it in other prefectures. We have studies of pre-accident those injuries, right? Those diseases. Inhaling one radioactive hot particle can cause a cancer. Just one. It's clear that low-level contamination is probably more dangerous than a single dose, unless it's a hot particle. But in studies where the whole area is contaminated, but they say it's safe, that's because these are people that, if you go look up what else they said, they'll tell you it's like a banana and a potato chip and walking in the sunshine to all kinds of audiences and all kinds of media. These are professional lawyers that are telling you that stuff, see? Infant deaths up in BC, Canada after Fukushima. Collaborated by a US study. And that was redone to include around 20,000 people having strokes and heart attacks. The NRC in 2011, all of a sudden, wants radiation exposure. This is your regulatory, your nuclear regulatory, who will tell you it's like a banana and a potato chip at every lecture they give. They want to raise the limit 100 times higher than what the EPA said is batshit crazy. So the 35% went from 13,000 children all of a sudden in a small area that did. The other 24,000 might have diabetes or heart or liver or lung or respiratory or autism. But see, they're only looking at thyroid, right? They're not looking at the other 1,800 diseases that show up before the cancer. Do you get it? So you have to extrapolate. How do low doses of radiation cause heart diseases and strokes? A single particle can cause fibrotic. Hemisphere in the West Coast. No, it don't, right, of course. A single particle. Hang on. What number was I at so I can find it after if I can't find it now? So we're on number 21. Okay. Dr. Raymond Gilmedi showed what particles do, right? Dr. Raymond Gilmedi. from Loveless Respiratory Research Institute in New Mexico. He showed particles over and over and over, single particles. And curium's the biggest isotope that's going to come out of those reactors. By the way, not iodine is just a tracer. Cesium is just a tracer. Tritium literally just a tracer, even though it's water that's radiated. You can't clean up water that's radiated. The water's radiated. Just like your gloves would be radiated if you left them close to nuclear waste, or your tools would be radiated if you left them close to nuclear waste. You can't get the nuclear out of the... it's like if you magnetize a screwdriver, you can't demagnetize it, by flicking it or something, right? You know what I mean? You're not going to knock the magnet off it, so to speak. Whatever. But generally, you can't get rid of it, and you can't get rid of radiation, period. It becomes part of it. It becomes radiating itself. But Gilmetty's killing dogs, and big old dogs and big old puppies, for 35 years. Tumors of the lung, skeleton, liver, after 3 years. Bone tumors in 93 dogs. Lung tumors in 46. Liver tumors in 20. So all the dogs died. Year after year, they never tried to cure them a single time. And so a single particle on your lung, when this stuff was coming through the coastline, it completely, utterly buried the Canadian coastline and American coastline. It circled the planet endlessly, perpetually. I'm just going to speed that up, jump ahead a little bit. This is only based up on a couple of isotopes. So all of those models that we talk about, you're breeding hot particles, right? And we're down to 21 or 22 or something, was it? Yeah, hang on. Yeah, there you go. Thank God for memory. Don't be fooled by the paid industry consultants. I got too many screens here. Besides all kinds of other nightmares. Low doses of ionizing radiation do cause cancer. And how the brainwashing was done in Fukushima tweet, painting propaganda effort by the Japanese government that would make Goebbels, which is Hitler's propaganda officer, and Bernays, which is the world's propaganda officer, proud. Nuclear industry propaganda about low-level radiation is absolutely rubbish, right? And so what they do is they'll say you're allowed 1 microsievert a year because that's the environment you live in. You get it from the sun, you get it from the rocks, you get it from potassium-40, but these are the very essence of life itself. We are acclimated to that through genetic superior selection, and we incorporated that into our body. It can't mutate a fruit fly, see? And so what the industry does is take that data and say that nuclear is equal to that. In other words, nuclear works the same way as homeostasis, where your body equalizes to potassium-40. And if I eat a banana with 12 becquerels of potassium-40, who cares? My body just off-gas it. It can only hold 12 becquerels, or it can only hold so many becquerels in your body. That's it. Your body treats it like homeostasis, where it regulates it like the thermostat regulates the temperature in your home, or your cruise control regulates the speed of the automobile. Just keep boogieing. Radiation health specialists. Children with over 11 becquerels a kilogram of just cesium, which is a tracer. So that meant everything else is also there. But if you hit 12 becquerels, 11 becquerels a kilogram of that stuff, there's 12 becquerels of potassium-40 in a banana's not going to hurt you. But if there's 11 becquerels in a kilogram of bananas, it would kill you. Over long term, it causes permanent lesions to your organs at 50, and it causes heart problems for children, as we've seen in earlier studies. Radiation in New York Times in small doses could actually be disproportionately worse. And doses spread out over time might be more dangerous than doses given it all at once, because your body bioaccumulates it, your food, and your water is bioaccumulating it, and you're bioaccumulating it. It aggregates. It sequesters in your organs, in your muscles, in your bones. the natural stuff doesn't it? Well, it does. It's irrelevant. This stuff acts like the natural stuff, so it goes in the same spot as a better way of looking at it, a better way of talking about it, maybe. Tritium rain to result from disposal of Fukushima. They want to boil it off. That's what they done at 3 Mile Island, right? They boiled off the radiation from 3 Mile Island. Took them a couple of years to boil it all off, millions of gallons. This is how twisted the industry is. So they poison us in little bits. Is the way they say it is they don't have immediate. If they boiled it all off at once, then you would get all these people dropping dead in the streets from all these toxic clouds coming through and dying later. And that will happen. That did happen in Fukushima. There's 7 people died on one street. Just dropped dead on a street. Think about that one. Thyroid cancer's risk last. When have we ever seen that? Leukemia risk peaks in a few years. Right, because that sequesters in your bones. Like this curium that's coming out of it, which is the biggest product of the radiated fuel rods, is curium, which acts like plutonium, and americium and neptuniums and all their daughters. Keep boogieing. We'll get into the speed here in a minute. Irreversible heart damage for children with 50 becquerels a kilogram. See, this is what Tepco was hiding. Let's step back for a second. That's why Tepco is showing you that. I'm not showing you that, not showing you that, but showing you that. That's why Tepco is showing you that 1 month ago, claiming that that is inside of that. That's why Seth Dorn claims he was inside the building, right, walking around. And that's why I showed you that, is to show you how the green screen works, right? And that's why Miles O'Brien...
Before we left...
only got a chest x-ray because he wasn't actually in a building. This was faked. And the pictures they're showing you are fake. The ones Tepco rolled out is fake, right? These reactors didn't withstand it. They were destroyed. And to put that in a little bit more context for you, they were destroyed because that came through the country. And then their country started looking like that. Then when they finally can get in there, it looked like that. And then when people went looking, it looks like this. And this is what Tepco don't want you to understand, is all of that is irradiated. All of that is radiated. There's 30 million bags also. 1-ton bags, 5 lanes of traffic right around this planet. But all those people died because they were chewed up by a wood chipper that was 400 kilometers long. And so the red is the numbers, are the people that died, 400 kilometers of the coastline, and the yellow are the people that are missing. And the power plants were right in that same spot. And we got the documentation showing that Tepco, a Fukushima governor, demanded that Tepco decommission, dismantle all 10 nuclear reactors. Gee, I wonder what he was talking about. He was talking about all the reactors in the same spot where the tsunami killed all those people. Let's go back to the headline. Because don't think for a second that those power plants magically, somehow or another, were able to survive an environment as vicious as Fukushima was. It's just ludicrous to even suggest that the power plants survived while everything else was totally and utterly just completely destroyed permanently, right? Look at the reactor 4. Let's keep going with the headlines. Do you think that building there is inside of that? Do you think that Tepco telling you that a month ago is not warranting us getting rid of Tepco? Does that not warrant us getting rid of Tepco? Should we not get rid of Tepco for coming out and still faking Unit 4 5 years after, telling us it looks like that? You're going to take that from a corporation that's creating a misery you can't even imagine. You can't wrap your mind around it until you listen and understand some of the things I'm talking about every day. Significant rise in cancer risks after 5 years of slowdown after exposure to low dose. 12% increase after 40 millisieverts. See, millisieverts is not how they should be explaining it. It should be in becquerels. It only takes an atom, like I was showing you earlier, to give you a vicious cancer 20 years down the road. But there's 1,800 diseases will show up before that. Cesium is not slow acting. It's immediately damages the heart muscles. That's why there was 20-something thousand excess heart attacks when the plume was coming through the country. Right? That plume was coming through the country, right? It circled the country over and over. I'm sorry. It circled the country. Just understand, that's on your right-hand side, that's Japan. Japan is now it's going to circle back around Japan. They make the charts look like that, like Japan got away with it or something, like it never stopped coming out of there, like it was just a simple release. Like it's only based up on 2 days releases. Look at it hitting North America to your left. But boom! Game over. That's it. That's all it took. That was the game over right there. Japan is completely covered. China, New Zealand, everywhere is covered in a short period. Just because this stops after a week or so, that's the 25th. Do you think it actually, the plume just turned to dust and disappeared? You think that stopped coming out of those melted reactors? Let's keep going. Nuclear radiation, the most carcinogenic thing that exists. Period. Because a single atom, and you put 2 million atoms on the head of a needle, you can't see it, but that's a cancer in 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if not quicker. But there's 1,800 diseases, autoimmune deficiencies, heart, liver, lung, respiratory, pituitary, adrenaline, Alzheimer's, dementia, autism, diabetes, you name it. En masse, going to show up before the cancer. And the cancer might not be the one to kill you because the other one killed you first. 23% higher incidences of childhood leukemia within 16 kilometers of nuclear facility. What do you think the numbers would be if it was diabetes? What do you think the numbers would be if it was Alzheimer's? What do you think the numbers would be if it was any of the 1,800 autoimmune deficiencies that show up before cancer? Here's Tepco. We got to stop these sorts of reports coming out. That's what they're trying to destroy me and trying to humiliate me and demonize me and vilify me and attack me relentlessly. Not that I care. Go knock your socks off. I don't care. I'm not worried about anything out there. I can handle anything comes my way if they wanted to try to have a real debate. That'll never happen. When radioactive cesium enters the body, which is just a tracer, 75% lodges in the muscle tissue, including the heart. 75, so the official sharpest radiation levels for resin to get iodine pills, which is just going to protect your thyroid, still important though, 75 times higher than the maggots that World Health Organization recommended for children. And they are maggots. They're the same people on ERPA and UNSCLEAR and United Nations are the same people that are at World Health Organization making decisions, burping today, which is a good sign. Because I was worried about the little pains I had there this morning. You can't trust the nuclear industry. So 75 times higher because it never stopped coming out of there, see? And xenon is known to cause, which is the model I was just showing you. The whole countries, the whole continents covered within a few days. 31st of March, April. Let me give you a bigger picture. Xenon known to cause dramatic increases in lung cancer. Yeah, because it'll burn a hole in your lung along with the plutonium. These were hot particles coming from these reactors. These reactors were super reactors. These reactors make Chernobyl look like a candlestick. Literally and figuratively. 2.5 times Chernobyl, but each reactor is many times, well, it's 3 times the size of Chernobyl. Each reactor in Japan. That's melted down. Gone. And all the reactor cores that were on the roof are gone too. So it's not just the reactor, there's the reactors up above it. So think about it. There was reactors. The reactors were above that. Reactors were above that. This is all robotics and homeless and destitute. Right? That's why they brought in that city. They brought in that not because it looked like that, but because it looked like that. Because it originally looked like that. You can see it in your left-hand corner. Right? See that? They brought that in on the world's biggest plane behind it. And there it is on the plane. Why did they bring that in? Well, they brought it in because it looked like that. But to really understand it, there is no reactor core on the roof of that, and the reactor is right in the middle of that pile. If it was higher, would have been right there. It was gone, and there's pieces of it flying everywhere. That's unit 3. Think about how much damage that tsunami done, really. Think about how violent and vicious that is. And then wonder why are they telling you that the building number 4 looked like that? Because of all the headlines I'm showing you today, right? So people they won't believe these headlines you're looking at. They won't believe the modeling you're looking at. Because Because people like Bill Nye, the science guy, are still out there saying that it's contained. But that was all major institutions showing you models. You think about all the major institutions that came out and showed us models. Let me see if I can find some of that. Probably not going to find it today. Average person in Seattle breathed in at least 10 hot particles a day. They were breathing in 10 hot particles a day because of that, right? Because that is real. Because this is real. See? Because that is real. No matter how you try to spin this, these are real models based on different institutions, right? I'm going to smurf up here. Hang on. Let's get back to where I left off. So they can't build a sarcophagus over Fukushima because Fukushima didn't stop. Chernobyl, what you're looking at is a new sarcophagus. The other one didn't even work. Oh, they got a sarcophagus over it. Nuclear is looking less green. Yeah, well agreed. See the symbol? It looks so cool. It looks so radical. It looks so, so magical, right? But when you think about what it takes to create a nuclear power 400 train car loads a gram, think about there's 30 million of these 1-ton bags. And that each of these 1-ton bags could pollute your entire community permanently and could kill everybody in your community. No problem at all. There's 30 million of them out there. Beer for the deadliest, the dedicated. See, this is how the industry is so disgusting. Tactical nuclear penguin beer. This is Hiroshima or Nagasaki, I can't remember. It should be written there, it's not. My apologies. Stop nuclear. This is Japan after Fukushima. This is a way of raising information, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, I grabbed it. This is for nuclear scientists. According to my calculation, you're an idiot. And this is everybody else's confirmation. You're an idiot. You people are idiots. They're protesting because they know what I'm showing you is real. See? Remember that. There you go. That's why I had that other picture there. Atomic bomb hit and then the city vanished. But that bomb was only 1 pound. Each of the reactors in Japan were 5 million pounds in the reactor and 5 million pounds more on the roof and millions of pounds on the site. And a Tepco and a Fukushima governor said he should dismantle all 10 reactors in Japan. I showed you those headlines earlier. Hillary Clinton, that's what that figure in the middle I think is, but Hillary Clinton made a pact with Japan after the accident not to test your food for radiation from a nuclear accident. Now she's running for president in America. There's no one good out there running, but the only one out there that is independent enough and have lived a very extraordinary life was Donald Trump, and a privileged life. And he might just be the wild card, or he might be just the same old, same old. Remember, he got hotels or apartment blocks full of the celebrities and the wealthy and the politicians and everybody else and their children. Right? So, in one sense you might think he's an outsider. In the other sense, he's extremely connected to all the insiders, isn't he? Just through that venue, through his TV shows, his TV appearances and everything else. And so they wanted to put out a radical person, and then he's such he says things right off the top of the head that don't make any sense, and then people, that can be used to demonize any good he might do. Bernie was just a normal person, but he's been bought and paid for many times over by the lobbyists. And Hillary, wherever Hillary goes, Blackwater is sure to slaughter. That's a well-known quote from me from years ago. Hillary, remember what Hillary done. Think about Hillary's crimes. It's incredible. Mass murder is all you can call that person. It's just unbelievable people like that exist. I'm not condoning or saying to vote for anybody or implying that. I'm just saying off the top of my head, there's a little insight on my take on it. Don't nuke the future is a little kind of late for that one. So David Suzuki said if number 4 went, bye-bye Japan, and you have to evacuate North America, right? That's what David Suzuki said. If number 4 goes, and here's what Tepco says number 4 looks like, and that's who David Suzuki was backing up. David Suzuki never bothered saying number 4 was gone. David Suzuki never bothered saying number 4 was destroyed. David Suzuki came out and he supported people like Seth Dorn and Miles O'Brien. And see, that's the whole problem. Here's Tepco 1 month ago showing you that picture, telling you that's the reality when that's ludicrous to even suggest that. Okay, so let's switch gears again. So David Suzuki is not stupid, and not naive, and not gullible, okay? He's seen the pictures of number 4. He knew the difference. He come out and told you the law to reinforce that law. So Tepco is so powerful, the industry is so powerful and propped up, that not only has Tepco got to be replaced to solve that issue, but you can't leave the criminal in charge of the crime scene. How stupid of a society are we that we allowed that to happen? We didn't. We were coerced. We were lied to by people that we coveted, like Suzuki. It's such a betrayal to wake up and understand that your whole system is rigged and that is vicious and deadly in every sense of the word. It has no interest in being telling you the truth. Now let's talk about me for a second, or a bit longer than that, I suppose. We're going to show you some emails of a guy known as Connecting Dots. He's got multiple accounts, and he's been viciously smearing me and attacking me and everybody else. Now, we called him up last week. We got his phone number finally. We gave him a call, and he was vicious. I mean, he was contempt you couldn't even imagine. And so I've been puzzling over that one for quite a while, trying to work through it. But I'm on the ocean. He was doing this to me while I was on the ocean. And so this is going to take a little bit of explaining for everybody. Let's bring this up in higher quality. So this was Jeff Palco email to Pasha, Ashley. And God bless you, Ashley. Hugs for you, honey. And everybody out there for that matter. But and Janet and Fred Saxon. And Elaine too. I got to send extra hugs today too. Just because of what they done for the Expedition for Life and how they gave it all. They gave everything they had to see this through. Jeff Palco was small compared to Elaine Campbell or Janet and Fred Saxon Peck. They dwarfed Jeff Palco's contribution, believe it or not. Well, you better believe it because I'm telling it to you and because I don't lie. There's nothing to be gained by it. That's why I show you documentation of everything as I'm talking all the time, if possible. And if not, I find and bring it in the next time. So here they were. Now, what was going on here? Let me set the stage for this. I'm smoking a cigarette without 7,000 chemicals, so don't have a seizure, please. But ask yourself why you weren't told that there's 7,000 chemicals in your cigarette. So I didn't know this till the last couple of weeks here, because I've been on the ocean and all I do is research. I don't bother looking at the people attacking me because I didn't do nothing wrong, and you can't do anything with these people anyway. What are you going to do with them? They're not going to go away, and you don't want to really give them any attention. But I just wanted to clarify this for all the hounds anyway. So here, when I was on the ocean in November, I didn't come back home till May. I was on the ocean for 5 months, 160 days anyway, before I got back home. Think about that one. You can find the documentation up at thenuclearproctologist.org of the coastline of British Columbia, Canada. And so I went out and I done the whole coastline of Canada. We crowdfunded the operation. Jeff Palco had donated a boat. Now this email is from Jeff Palco, who committed suicide allegedly on December 24, 2014. Now this email is 2014, November 10th. Now Jeff was responding to Ashley. He's talking about how Connecting Dots was pressuring him. Now he gave the boat to me. It's in my name. Nobody taking that boat away from me. I own that boat. I said that I would be willing to give it back to Jeff when the expedition was over, as just a token of my appreciation that he stepped up and got us the boat. But the boat had everything else, was paid by everybody else. That included a cabin, motors, that included equipment, that included, like, you can't even imagine. The boat was a whole. Everything else we built from donations. And for someone to suggest that they were going to come and take a boat away from me that was in my name was ludicrous. But it was done to try to smear me. But here was a guy known as Louis L'Amour, who goes by the name of Connecting Dots. He's in Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. And he's allegedly, he worked in the military, allegedly is very acquainted with people from CSIS, from people with the RCMP, etc., etc. He's a very strange person. Now, he went after one of my donors, allegedly, saying that I was a fraud, that I wasn't out on the coastline doing what I said I was doing or anything else, that I was just taking the money, and that Jeff should give him the boat. Now, Jeff had emails where he says, I don't even know what this guy looks like. This guy won't leave me alone. This guy's pressuring me. But let me keep going now. So let's read through some of this stuff here. The 10th of November, my decision has been made. I'm going to continue my support for Dana. He's out on the ocean busting his ass and gathering data and doing more than any government on the planet. And the boat is going to remain with Dana so he can accomplish the task of documenting the West Coast, documenting it. Not out getting samples, because the samples we knew at that stage were all, there was nothing to get samples from. Everything was missing off the coastline. But this is what Dot's news story is. Now, Dot's news story is he's got to get the boat back to me for Jeff's son. First off, the boat was donated in good faith, and that's how an organization exists. People donate. They don't try to take things back. And here was Jeff being bombarded by somebody named Louis L'Amour from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada, saying that Jeff should give him the boat. Now, if somebody gave you something and another person on the internet said that, called the person up who contacted the person who gave it to you and said, that person is crazy, you should give it to me. Now, say you were Jeff and someone called you up and said that to him. You just hang up the phone. Normally, right? You don't start saying, having conversations about that, yeah? But anyway, that's what happened. And this went on right up until he allegedly committed suicide. Let's bring up another one. Dana's busting his balls. So this is Jeff Palco's email saying, CD is zoned in on good people doing good things. Miss Milky the clown, one, Rad Chick, Stacy, to name a few. And I can understand why he's gone to bat for you. I would also do the same if I knew things were told me, however innocent. Good people don't deserve this shit. We were fighting the biggest organization in the world. Dots is wanting to take action. Look at your third paragraph. Dots, which is Connecting Dots, is wanting to take action, whatever that means, because I don't know. I was on the ocean for 5 months while this was going on. But I just learned about all this, and I'm explaining it. I just got onto the net yesterday for the first time in a month and a half, and Dots wants me to take action on his schedule, whatever that means. He wanted to come take my boat. Dots physically wanted to come here, to my community, to my home, and steal something that was in my name with no warrant, without no court order, without no police escort, with nothing. He was determined to come here and take that boat and drag it away. This is what he was alluding to. That's in my name. You got any idea how mad that is? He would have died right on that spot. Anybody coming in trying to do that to me, I will defend my property with my life. That's considered an attack. And anybody coming aggressive to take something belonging to me will die. The police will never get here in time to save me, so I will take action on my own. If you come into my home, I can't wait for the police to come find out who killed me, okay? I'm going to kill that person. I'm going to try to contain them, but I'm disabled, so I ain't going to fuck around. So, what was going on here? Here's another one coming up. Now, Jeff Palco was also saying, I wish CD was making videos that are useful. He's never made a video, only originally, that was useful, Connecting Dots has. He's like, I can understand 1 or 2 hater videos, but so constant he's having trouble with. Anyway, enough about CD. I've researched him enough to know he has done this to other people and how he rolls. Dots wants to get the boat, and I don't know his name or even what he looks like, and it's not a good idea. He says, I'm going to stay the course with Dana. Now, Dots was crucifying him. Okay. Now, I blew this one up so you can read it. Here's Dot's emails. We're going to change the format so you can read it properly. So, Dot said to him on December the 10th, this is Yeah, 14 days before Jeff Palco committed suicide, allegedly. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's Dot's still in his face. So you would be okay with the petition, whatever that was. He was going to petition the court to get the boat from me or something, apparently. And he would have died when he came here, I can assure you. It would have been his last step to come here and try to do something like that to me. And so you would be okay with the petition if you were to see a dime or more from him. So he said, listen, Jeff, the fact is Kevin is scamming people. Not to my knowledge, Kevin does more than anybody else on the fucking planet. He doesn't stop. And promoting Dana's scam, and you are the biggest owner. Not hardly. By no means. Jan and Elaine, by far. But he was supposed to be just somebody who donated something. All of a sudden, he's supposed to control our destiny. So pay attention. And you are not the least concerned. Are you not concerned about how others are being scammed? So he's calling me a scammer, but I'm out there documenting it and putting it up at my site, The Nuclear Proctologist, every time I can find bandwidth. So this is insane that I'm being accused of that. It's outrageous. He said, you know, I just received another email today from somebody, from a subscriber. This is connecting Dot's mental illness. He's justifying an email from a stranger as a reason to take a boat away from me and take it home and put it in his garage. You got any idea how ludicrous that is? You got any idea how out of your touch with any kind of reality those statements are? You got any idea what would happen to the side of his fucking head if he ever come here and tried that? You got to get on the ferry. Even if I wasn't home, I come back and found the boat moving. It wouldn't take me long to track that fucker down. It's ludicrous that somebody would do that. But look at the paragraph, last paragraph. You know, I just received another email today from a subscriber. Good for you, you fucking moron. And again, this guy asked why you hadn't asked for the boat back from Dana. What are you fucking talking about? The boat is in my name. The boat was given to me in good faith. And I was on the ocean at the fucking time. I was on that ocean when this was happening, doing the expeditions. But here's this monster, this freak of nature, trying to coerce somebody relentlessly now for a couple of months. Dana, get the boat back from Dana, and stating how Dana has already admitted. What are you fucking talking about admitted? What do you mean by admitted, though? What does that mean? Dana has admitted? Let me get that straight, hang on. Dana has admitted the boat wasn't his to begin with. No, it was donated to me. Like the cameras, like all the equipment, it was donated. That's not mine, it was donated to me. That's everybody. When I look at it, that's what I see. So, see, this doesn't make any fucking sense. How come Palco don't beat the shit out of him? Tell him shut the fuck up and mind his own problem. Hang on, wait for it. I had no idea this monster was out there doing this to me. I had no idea this creature was at this. Okay. So, Jeff, when exactly do you plan on asking for the boat back? What the fuck are you talking about asking for the boat back? Still harassing him. After Dana ripped off another 40,000 or 150,000 from more innocent, good-hearted YouTubers? Because I want something to answer all these people who've been sending me emails. He's doing all this because someone sent him a fucking email. And all of a sudden, he's God. Someone sent me an email. I gotta go out. I'm gonna go down and steal that fucking boat from him. I don't know if it's true or not, but someone sent me a fucking email. Like, it's enough to make you pull your hair out. It's literally enough to make you wonder what the fuck is going on this planet. I'll get to it. But it's bizarre, man. There's the wrong one. Hang on. Bring it up this way. You can read it that way. Because I want someone to answer all these who send me emails all summer long asking, why is Jeff's brother or family ending this? What the fuck is he talking about? I was out on the expedition doing what I said I was going to do. It's got nothing to do with you. Mind your own fucking business. Stay out of my life. But no, while I was on the ocean, he was bludgeoning me. He was trying to wreck me and destroy me. And more recently asking, why isn't Jeff ending this fraud and scam? So an email to you means you can bombard a guy for months. Since most YouTubers have now seen how you know the expedition for total fraud, when I posted it all on the internet at my website, thenuclearproctologist.org. Why are you being such a pussy about speaking out against it or asking for the boat back from Dana? You donate it, you don't get nothing back. Shut your fucking pie hole. Anybody thinks they're going to do that to me and try to ruin me that way, you can go fuck off somewhere. And ask them for your funds back from Kevin. You had no problem speaking up before you even told people not to watch his videos. Yet now that you know the truth and other YouTubers, blah, blah, blah. Now how fucked up is that? Think about how fucked up that is. That's nothing. Hang on. Hi, chat room. We're going to bump you for a second. Excuse me. Here's a blog that was done about what Connecting Dots was up to. I'm not going to read through it today, but he talks about dots and how bizarre he is and how he claims he's in the military. But he links over Jeff died on Christmas Eve. And then he links over to that one. So let's open that, another link. Wait for it to pop up. Anytime you're ready. So his obituary is gone. Now his obituary didn't list any friends or any families. Right? And not only that, it's now gone. And you can see the date up there. Now originally there was an obituary there. That's now gone. Guest books. He said if you wanted, you got to contribute and keep it up there or something. So Jeff's family couldn't even keep the obituary, which is only going to cost like a couple of dollars a month or something to maintain that, or a year. They couldn't keep that up there. Like if that doesn't drive you batty, if that doesn't make you really wonder what the hell is truly going on here, when you think about these emails, now on this is this email, last email, the heavy one, that was December the 10th. Right, December the 10th, 2014. That was 14 days before Palco allegedly committed suicide. Now, would you consider how much that just drove me mad trying to talk about it, that would drive Palco insane? And that if Palco was a real person, but there's no obituary, and like the original obituary never had no loved ones, no friends, no families, they listed. The obituary, when we called up that particular funeral home and asked them what plot he's in, they said they don't know what plot. They've never heard of him. But then when you look at the conversation between Dots and him saying they should take my boats away, Jeff trying to be on the fence but demonizing Kevin Blanche and Ackerman and myself, Miss Milky and Radchick and everybody else, this undecided, I'm on a fucking fence or something. I talk to Palco on the phone all the time. Palco never wanted the boat back, but I did tell him. And I even said it for people out there because that is the way I am. That if people really did want it back, tell me and we'll make sure it got back to you. Palco did contact me and ask me for a Geiger counter back, and I sent it to him the very next day. And I had those emails where he got it and received it. I insured it for $900, and he received it within 2 days, guaranteed delivery. And then he phoned me, we talked more, and we talked all the way up through, and he told me Connecting Dots had him drove crazy. And so if Palco did exist, his suicide was caused by no other than Louis L'Amour from Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. If you're the RCMP, please contact me at 604-223-0763, and I'll supply you with endless emails of this. I'll supply you with endless documentation of it, and I'll supply you with his phone number for Connecting Dots and his alleged name and address. You have to arrange for me to go down to the police station to do that. I'm not going to do it to somebody on a phone, and we can do it at the local RCMP detachment here in Powell River, British Columbia. And I'm available and free, and I will testify, and I will be a witness, an expert witness for what happened here. I have deep insight and a whole lot of documentation on this, and there is a group out there that has been following all of this and documenting what Dots has been up to, and several other nuclear PR firms. We think they're all connected. We do believe that Jeff Palco wasn't real, and that the industry created that as a figment. And they do that all the time. You got a fake ID, fake addresses, fake bank accounts. He told me his dad was the top 10% and that he could afford to donate the boat to me. And, you know, because I did raise that concern. Because that is who I am. I'm not some random person. We covered 9,000 headlines before I went on the ocean. I'm not a bad person. And what they done was they defunded me. Then they had me arrested when I came off the last expedition and charged with a crime I didn't commit. But in 2 videos, right? What I said in 2 videos, had me charged with that. They didn't use a court order to take those videos down. They used ghost accounts. When I was in jail for 12 hours, when I got out of jail, those old videos, they had tried to get me arrested twice in 2014, twice in 2015. The end of 2015, they hit me with what's known as it wasn't a lawsuit, but it's the same thing as a slap lawsuit against public participation. Think about that one. It's a construct of the industry to bankrupt people. So I was bankrupted, and then I was dragged to court 5 times. I still got 2 more court appearances. Mainstream media come out and demonize me. Dots has been on the internet posting salacious videos about me, endlessly saying he's got to get the boat for the children. But he was trying to take the boat for himself. He was trying to bring it to his home. Palco was like, I don't know who he is. I don't know anything about him. I've never seen him. I don't know anything about this guy. He did allude to all that, see, in the emails. Dots is a murderer. Dot murdered that guy, if he did die, if he was real, and if not, there was a collusion. That was the industry. Dots and Palco are one and the same in the industry. See? There's no way to spin this any other way. That I was set up to be taken apart. I was set up to be demonized. And when they realized that I actually had the skills to pull it off, and I did, 15,000 miles of the coastline, we'll end it on that. 15,000 miles of the coastline, and here's the boat coming up. Now the boat was just a hull. We built the cabin. We built all the equipment. We put everything on it, the extra engines and everything else. Right, you got to think about that, right? We done that through crowdfunding. We went out, we done 15,000 miles of the coastline. We'll come over and say good day to everybody in a second. Just bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure I just want to make sure I cut anything there. Okay. So, that's 15,000 miles of the coastline. Now, I dove this coastline and the east coast of Canada 14,000 hours underwater. And so, I stayed out 100-day trips back-to-back throughout the coastline of Canada, British Columbia, and the Atlantic. But anyway, I'm used to seeing that. I'm used to seeing this. I'm used to seeing that. When I went ashore, it was naked. And the 4 million other species didn't resettle that coastline. So normally it would be 5,600 highly visible species. Everywhere you go, it was just a smorgasbord of life. It was amazing. The same spot is now naked. But this is just emblematic of anywhere in British Columbia it should look like that. It should look like that. Anywhere you go in BC it should look like that. Anywhere. Instead now, it's naked, you will starve to death. And so did the animals, so did the birds, so did all the migratory animals. When they were starving to death, you couldn't find their feeder fish because they're all gone in the ocean. They came ashore, and there was nothing to eat there. In the high tide lines where all the insects are too, right up there, they were all gone also. The birds were gone from the forest. And this was Louise Narrows, one of the most coveted spots in Canada. One of the most unique places imaginable. It's right up the top of that Arles up there. In the middle of nowhere, no industry anywhere. It used to look like up to 75 per square meter. Now it's naked in the exact same spot. So that is why we are in so much trouble. Plus all those other headlines. Plus we got this monster coming after me, pretending and creating these fictions that I'm somehow a bad person, or I'm somehow ripping people off, or I'm somehow a horrible scam artist, when all the documentation is up at the nuclear proctologist with the GPSs of the whole coastline of Canada. Right? And here was a person claiming that they're going to go through all of that work to get a boat because they think I'm a scam artist, but yet they're the same people went out and drove right across Canada doing radiation readings and then had that site taken down, so all the donors disappeared and created another site later and popped up again. But most of the donors lost sight of them, see? He took donations all the way across Canada. And he found radiation all across Canada that he emits to on videos. Right? But he pulled all those videos. Some of them are still available on the internet. But if you go down below the videos, the old ones, back when it happened, he was driving across Canada, you'll see his comment there, connecting dots. He'd probably removed it by now because we've been talking about it for the last week. But you see his comments there, please take my video down. I don't want anybody else to be using it. So he was intending to get rid of all the evidence. And then people like me and Radchick and Miss Melky the Clown, Jan Brooks, and other people out there showing the documentation of the damages and the implications of 4 melter reactors. We have been vilified and demonized. And we still are. I still am, all day, every day. To the effects where, like you say, they have defunded me, literally and figuratively. Now, last week, altogether, I didn't realize till this morning, because I had a bad weekend out on the boat, and I'm not going to go into that right now at this moment. But everybody's aware of it. And I checked the email this morning anyway, just to try to catch up to speed. And I seen there was 3 donations there, which brought the sum up to $1,000 we raised. I was going to go out on an expedition, but I lost my buddy, my little puppy, that's 15 years old, right? On the boat when we were ready to take off. And so it was a traumatic day on Saturday and yesterday and the day for me. Now, I already done 2 radio shows this morning. I got another radio show tonight. And so let me come over and say hi to everybody. Thank you, everybody. Hugs for everybody. And here's Thomas Ackerman donated $25 to Dots in June of 2011. And Dots is out attacking Thomas constantly. Hugs, my friend. M. Thirst, Just Cruising, MG, Albert, Alex, Nep Killer, everybody, Elaine, anybody I didn't get out there, Candace, M. Thirst. I know there's so many people out there I'm not gonna get to. Albert and Oomph, everybody. Hugs for everybody. Candace again. Yeah, and so I'll be on the Jeff Rince's show tonight, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, British Columbia time. I'm not sure what time that is anywhere else. Let me come back over and we'll call it a day. And so I was on the Power Hour this morning with Joy. Can't remember her name. And I done another radio show at 5 a.m. I done Joy at 7 a.m. my time, and I done another one at 5 a.m. Oh, I can't remember. My apologies. And then Jeff Rince's tonight. I can't remember their name for life from me all of a sudden. Okay, so we're at the end of the show. We're 7 minutes overboard. Thank you, everyone. I hope the stream worked out today. I'm going to do it for the rest of the week at YouTube and see if I can resolve any of the issues I'm having. It's really hard to get it up and running. I'm not sure if it's running. I'm not even sure what it sounds like. We'll get it together before the week is out, trust me. And if anybody can donate, please donate. Continue to donate. You can donate at thenuclearproctologist.org with your credit cards. We've done the whole expedition that way, right? And you can donate at PayPal, Dana Durnford at hotmail.com. I'm Dana Durnford, thenuclearproctologist.org. We're signing off. Hugs for everybody. Thank you for everything you have done and said, particularly the weekend and last week, how you built up enough bank we can go get something done on the ocean again to keep that momentum going. And we're going to have to launch another expedition this summer by the looks of it. And there's some bad stuff happening. We'll cover that later in the week. Hugs for everybody. We'll see you then. Take care, folks.